I think we have a bit of a perception problem. We tend to look at Earth and see this self-contained little world. But what if that whole idea is just wrong? Today, drawing from wonders of the solar system, we're going to explore a pretty radical shift in how we see things. We're going to see that our home planet, well, it only really makes sense when you see it as just one piece of a huge, interconnected cosmic system.
I mean, look at this. This image is basically how we define home, right? This solitary blue marble. It just looks so beautiful, so isolated, completely self-sufficient, just floating there all alone in the dark. And you can't blame us for thinking that way. For almost all of human history, this was the whole universe to us.
But is it really? Is that picture accurate? Is Earth truly this isolated island, or is it more like a passenger on some far grander voyage? Well, it turns out space exploration has kind of forced us to face that exact question.
See, to really get a handle on our own home, we had to do something that sounds kind of crazy. We had to leave it. And once we did, wow, everything we thought we knew just started to change. Just think about how fast this all happened. I mean, it's incredible. In 1959, we sent our very first probe beyond Earth's gravity. A mere 9 years after that, we're looking back and seeing our own planet rise over the moon. And in the 50-plus years since then, we've sent out this whole armada of robotic explorers all over the solar system. We're talking less than a single human lifetime to go from being stuck on this rock to becoming true interplanetary explorers. That's just wild.
And the result of all that exploring? It was profound. It completely changed the game. We learned that our environment doesn't just neatly stop at the edge of our atmosphere. Nope, Earth isn't some isolated object. It's an active participant in this incredibly complex, dynamic system. It's constantly being shaped by gravity, by energy, and by a cosmic history that we all share. So what are these connections then, these unseen ties? Well, it turns out Earth isn't nearly as independent as it looks. It actually relies on a whole cosmic support system.
Yeah, this isn't that simple, neat little model you remember from your school textbooks, is it? This is the real deal. It's a complex, interwoven web of orbits. It's a place of constant motion and interaction. You could almost call it a gravitational dance. And that dance has shaped every single planet in the system, including ours.
And this is where it gets really interesting. It turns out Earth's habitability, it's not really our own doing. For instance, our unusually large moon is what stabilizes our seasons, giving us a predictable climate. Then you've got Jupiter, whose massive gravity acts like a cosmic bodyguard, pulling in or flinging away dangerous comets and asteroids. And get this, even the water in our oceans was probably delivered here by ancient comets. We literally need our neighbors just to survive. And the authors of the book really nail it. They say that understanding this interconnectedness, that's one of the biggest revelations of modern science. It's a complete shift, a fundamental change from seeing planets as these separate, lonely objects to seeing them as parts of a much bigger whole. So this new way of looking at things gives us an absolutely incredible tool, the ability to compare. The whole solar system kind of becomes this giant natural laboratory. You've got all these different experiments running at the same time, and it lets us see what happens when you just tweak the variables a little bit. Okay, just take Mars, for example. It's governed by the exact same laws of physics as Earth, but, well, the outcome couldn't be more different, could it? By exploring worlds like this, we get something like a cosmic control group. It's a way for us to finally understand what makes our own planet so special. And when you put them all side by side like this, the story just clicks into place. You've got Venus, which is almost Earth's twin in size, but it's closer to the sun, and it's a scorched, runaway greenhouse hellscape. Then there's Mars, smaller and farther out, and it's a frozen, geologically dead world. They both show us what happens when the conditions are just a little bit off. And then there's Earth, the one that got it just right. And that right there is exactly what scientists mean when they call Earth the Goldilocks planet. But as we've been seeing, it's not just about our own position and our own size. Our just right status is completely dependent on our place within the entire solar system. Okay, so what's the big takeaway from all this exploration? What does it all mean? Well, it seems to be this. This whole new perspective actually gives us a whole new sense of responsibility for our own world. You might think that looking out at the sheer vastness of space would make us feel, well, insignificant.
But all the evidence actually points in the opposite direction. The more we learn about other worlds, the more we realize just how unbelievably rare and precious the conditions are right here. Our journey into space hasn't shown us that we're insignificant, it's shown us that we are profoundly, incredibly rare. There's this T.S. Eliot quote that's in the book, and it just captures this feeling perfectly. It says, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." We went all the way to the moon and Mars, not just to discover what's out there, but to finally come back home and really understand our own planet for the very first time. And so here we are, right back where we started, looking at the same image. But now we see it differently, don't we? Earth isn't alone. It's part of this grand cosmic architecture. The solar system isn't just some pretty background scenery. It's the system itself, the very thing that makes our world make sense, the thing that explains why we're even here at all. And I think understanding that, well, that's the greatest wonder of them all.